The hollow in Blackroot Woods. Everyone in Briar Hollow knew to avoid Blackroot Woods after dusk. The trees there grew too close, their bark gnarled like twisted limbs, roots coiling over themselves as if the earth beneath were alive. Even the birds seemed to shun it. A strange silence reigned over the undergrowth, broken only by the wind, or what sounded like wind. Hunters who dared cross its border told stories of Blackroot swallowing sound, of footsteps that vanished before they reached the heart of the forest. But that didn't stop Rowan Grady. Rowan was 17, reckless in ways only the stubborn and skeptical could be. His father, a logger turned drunk, used to tell stories of the hollow buried deep in Blackroot, a place where the forest was not merely dark but aware, a place where people vanished, their names swallowed like a breath in the night. Rowan had laughed at the tales, the kind of laughter young boys give legends they are certain cannot touch them. Until the dreams began. For 7 nights he dreamed of Blackroot, always the same dream. He stood beneath crooked branches, fog curling around his feet, and something just beyond sight whispered his name. Each time he woke, drenched in sweat, the whisper echoing in his skull. It wasn't fear that drew him toward the woods. It was something older, something primal, like an itch beneath his skin or a pull at the spine that demanded he go. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky in bruised purples, Rowan slipped out of his house. His mother was working a late shift at the diner. The world outside his door wouldn't notice his absence until morning. The path into Blackroot was barely a trail, overgrown and smothered by thick underbrush. As Rowan crossed the tree line, the temperature dropped sharply, making his breath curl in the cold. He tightened his jacket and pressed on, the forest closing around him. The deeper he went, the more unnatural the air felt, thick, heavy, smelling of decay and wet earth. Shadows seemed to move in the corners of his eyes, and every so often he caught flickers of white behind a tree, or a glimpse of something tall, spindly, and impossibly thin. Yet when he turned, there was nothing, not even the sound of his own footsteps, only silence thick and suffocating. Hours, or what felt like hours, passed before he found it. The trees opened into a circular clearing, unnaturally symmetrical, a pit at its center surrounded by stones blackened as if scorched by fire. The hollow. Rowan froze at the edge. Bones lay scattered inside the pit, some small like animal remains, others too long and thick to belong to any creature he recognized. Human. A cold trickled up his spine. He turned to leave, but movement froze him in place. A girl stood at the far edge of the clearing, barefoot, pale, her eyes like stagnant water. Her dress was white, dirt-stained at the hem. She didn't move, didn't blink. Rowan opened his mouth, but no sound emerged. The girl lifted an arm, pointing directly at him. Then she whispered, not in a sound carried by air, but inside his head. "You've come home." Rowan bolted. Branches clawed at his face and arms, yet he didn't care which way he ran. The woods had changed. Trees grew closer, thicker, twisting around him like living walls. Time itself seemed to warp. The sky never lightened, and the ground never returned to the road. Only trees, only shadows, and the whisper, "You've come home." He stumbled over a root, sprawling onto the mossy ground. When he sat up, the girl was closer. "You were the first," she said, her mouth unmoving. "You opened the hollow. You let it out." "No," Rowan rasped. "I've never been here." Her head tilted. "Your blood has. What you carry remembers. It called you back." Shadows stretched from the trunks, spilling like tar across the forest floor. Shapes formed, limbs too long, eyes glimmering faintly in the dark. They circled him, murmuring in voices like rusted wind chimes. "The forest doesn't forget. The hollow needs what was taken." Rowan tried to scramble backward, but his legs refused him. Cold tendrils brushed against him. He screamed, yet no one would hear. Not here. Then everything went black. Rowan awoke in his own bed. Sunlight streamed through the window, but the room felt alien. His heart raced. His clothes were damp with dew, streaked with dirt and flecks of dried blood. His boots caked in moss, his fingernails blackened. It had to be a dream. It wasn't. He stayed in his room all day, unable to face the world. That night the dreams returned. The girl, the pit, the hollow. Only now she whispered something new. "You belong to us now." Rowan tried to resist. He avoided the woods, hoping the terror would fade, but the effects lingered. His mother began sleepwalking, once standing barefoot at the back door, whispering to the trees. His dog, Jasper, refused to step outside after dusk, growling at the wind. And each night the dream returned, stronger, clearer. One morning he woke with dirt under his nails, a splinter lodged deep in his palm. He did not remember leaving the house, but something told him he had. Then came the night when the whisper came from under his bed. "Come back." Rowan ran, not to his mother, not to the neighbors. He ran into Blackroot. He had to see the hollow again. Had to end it. This time the path was clear. The fog parted and the trees seemed to bend aside. The hollow awaited, the pit of bones now pulsing beneath the earth like a heartbeat. The girl stood beside it. "You've returned." "What do you want from me?" Rowan asked, voice trembling. "You broke the seal once. Now you must close it." The forest began to hum, a deep vibration that pressed against Rowan's chest. "But a gate needs a soul to seal it," she whispered. The ground split. From the pit rose black tendrils of root and ash, curling like fingers. They didn't reach for Rowan. They reached for her. The girl didn't flinch. "Take me back," she whispered, and the tendrils wrapped around her like a lover's embrace. She dissolved into mist, drawn into the pit. The bones sank with her, swallowed by the earth. The hum died. The forest stilled. Rowan stood in silence, breathless. He turned to leave, but the path was gone. The trees seemed to watch him. Then he heard it. "You broke the seal once. Now you must guard it." The shadows closed around him, gentle this time. Familiar. Rowan understood. He was no longer a visitor. He belonged to Blackroot Woods, to the Hollow as its sentinel. In the heart of Blackroot, the Hollow slept again. For now. The nights that followed were quiet, though not peaceful. Rowan wandered the edges of the hollow, hearing whispers among the roots, feeling eyes upon him from shadowed corners. Occasionally, travelers or hunters strayed too close, drawn by rumors of the forest. Rowan would appear to them in glimpses, a shadow at the tree line, a pale figure in the fog. He did not speak. He did not move forward. Only watched, guiding them away, guarding the hollow. Sometimes, when the wind twisted through the branches just right, he could hear the girl's voice, faint as a memory. "Thank you." Rowan knew she was gone, yet present still, bound to the hollow as he now was. Time lost meaning. Days blurred into nights. The forest's pulse became his own. Occasionally he glimpsed figures in the mist, humans, animals, memories of those taken, swirling around the pit like echoes. They did not harm him. They simply reminded him of what he had protected. Years passed, or perhaps mere weeks. Time was no longer his to measure. Rowan was the hollow's keeper, a sentinel at the edge of a world that had forgotten the forest, a bridge between the living and the shadows that waited beneath. And Blackroot Woods, once a place to be feared, was now a part of him. The hollow slumbered, and Rowan remained vigilant. Always.